One of the emotionally and spiritually healthiest things we can do for ourselves and others, especially in this pandemic, is to stay connected. It's every bit as critical, and even more, that we stay connected with God. That's what miracles do. Do you need a miracle today? Miracles connect us with God. In John's Gospel, the word we sometimes translate miracle literally means sign. Because I can't resist, here's your sign. In John's Gospel, there are actually 7 signs pointing to and connecting us with the presence of God in Jesus Christ. Careful readers of John will even notice that the first half of the book takes us through the 7 signs, culminating in the last one. That's when the plot changes and things turn quickly to Jesus' death and ultimately his resurrection. All through Lent, I'd like to use our devotional time on Thursdays to walk us through these 7 signs. The first is this, from John chapter 2, verses 1 through 11. Take a minute, pause the video, find your Bibles, and how about if you read it with me? On the 3rd day, there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. When the wine gave out, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, what concern is that to you and to me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Now standing there were 6 stone water jars for the Jewish rites of purification, each holding 20 or 30 gallons. Jesus said to them, "Fill the jars with water." And they filled them to the brim. He said to them, "Now draw some out and take it to the chief steward." So they took it. When the steward tasted the water that had become wine and did not know from where it had come, though the servants who had drawn the water knew, the steward called the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone serves the good wine first, then the inferior wine after the guests have become drunk. But you've kept the good wine until now." Jesus did this, the first of his signs, in Cana of Galilee, and revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. This is also the gospel story. Jesus and his disciples are guests at a wedding. Disaster strikes. All their preparation and planning weren't enough. The wine runs out. Isn't this the story that's told in some degree in every single relationship? There will come tear-filled, frantic times. Whatever the relationship, invariably we all get to the point where love is called into question. When this happens, I want to suggest the wisdom of Mary, Jesus' mother. It's the wisdom that turns to Jesus for help. It's the wisdom that knows that Jesus can bring joy back into our lives after the wine runs out. In the Gospel of John, wine is a sign of God's presence and blessing. What happened at Cana is testimony that Jesus is the best wine, not any of that cheap stuff. Jesus himself is the best wine, the very presence of God, the richest and best that was saved for last and is now available to us, poured out, running over, lavishly given to us. This turning to Jesus may sound like an overly simplistic solution, especially if you've been caught in the quagmire of a relationship gone dry. But faith says Jesus offers something, At the least, it's the providential perspective that we can have someone to whom we can turn. It's said that when Lord Byron was a student at Oxford, he was required to write an exam on this particular gospel story. Very simply and with profundity, he wrote, "The water met its master and blushed." When we most need help and can soberly see our need, we can see that we're not alone. Jesus provides the providential perspective into which we can pour the emptiness of our lives and see that we too have met our Master. Even more, Jesus promises the real hope that our relationships can be changed, our actions and feelings can be different, our lives can be different, we can be changed. Ultimately, we don't have to be the persons we were. The water turned to wine is just a taste of the resurrection to come. To his mother, Jesus said, "I can serve no wine before its time." Not in our time, not according to our design, not on the schedule that we want. Rather, what we almost always realize in retrospect is the right time. Like the most wonderful surprise at a wedding, help can come. Whatever the relationship, when we turn it to Jesus, he will surprise us with the joy of new beginnings, a vitality that is deeper and richer than ever before, and a hope that never ends. Others may not know the source of our new joy, but we will know it is Jesus. If you have tasted his presence, or would taste it even now in this moment, savor his mercy, treasure his joy, guard it, grow it, give it to one another. As you are able, offer it to others who are thirsty like you for such a joy and such a grace. All true worship is a party, and it's happening here right now, this moment. Thanks to Jesus, it need never end.